three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody. Welcome to a special Monday Night Crypto show. Not Monday Night Football, Monday Night Crypto, the AZcrypto, and that's not Santa Claus next to me. That's MrFOMO. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification. Guys, help us drive through to get to 2,000. We absolutely love your support. Anytime you can share the show, it's greatly appreciated as we start the bull run here in style. We got 2 gems today, guys. So if you're watching the show, congratulations. We've got done some research for you. We got something cooked up. First, MrFOMO, let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about some news that was bullish. Just as this morning, we were looking at Bitcoin taking a dip and struggling maybe to stay above 40. It goes above 42.6. And that just shows you right now, we talked about it right pre-show. Is this someone trying to manipulate the price down? And this is the best they can do, right? Get it down to 40.
Well, I hope so, right?
Right away, it goes back to 42. Let us not forget last week we touched 45 and got rejected. However, what we told you guys is it's going to be tough to keep Bitcoin below 39, below 40. We've seen that the last 7 days. Just too much anticipation of the January 10th ETF. And then today we got some news that we're going to hit on, MrFOMO, but talk about your reaction to Bitcoin bouncing strong the last 12 hours.
It's good to see it, even though it's kind of chopping sideways. You see over the last 7 days that it's kind of been bouncing back and forth, but still staying in basically that same area. I like the fact that we're building strength at these levels. I like to see us establishing ourselves above 40,000 for longer periods of time. That will make it harder and harder for this to dip. And like I said before, I'm not sure that, there's maybe one person out there that could manipulate the price like that. I really don't believe in the guys in the room with their Scotch glasses sort of clinking them together and like, yeah, we did it again, boys. Like, I think there's more to it than that. It's more nuanced and complicated. But I do think that you're right. I think that with the leverage trading and with, a lot of the things that go on in the market that are sort of separate from each other, that is manipulating the price down, but I don't know that it's a coordinated effort necessarily to manipulate the price. It seems like a lot of money to be able to coordinate and keep quiet. But I'm the skeptic, and so I maybe
we've
I'm
seen
just
it
not seeing
before,
things
though. Remember,
but I just think that this is just natural, healthy movement in the market.
Yeah.
People are coming in and out.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here.
But then other people are grabbing the opportunity to get cheap Satoshis when they can.
If you were in the last bull run, you know this, the big mining companies did manipulate the price. And also, it's not a coincidence that when there's a lot of longs or a lot of shorts, they can easily, and they do often get liquidated. I don't think you could say that's by accident. So my guess would be, we're going to find out tomorrow, that there were a lot of people that took out shorts this morning when it looked like we might go below 40, and those people got eaten alive at 42.
And so that I could see a little bit more affecting the market. But
that's still calculated.
If we were looking at this, 6 months ago, and we said, hey, we're going to be at 42 by December, A, people probably would have laughed at us, but B, if you bought back then, you'd be real happy with us by now.
People did laugh at the show.
Right. And we've been telling you all along that this was going to happen. Maybe I certainly didn't think we'd get to 40 by the end of the year. AZcrypto definitely thought we would get to 40 by the end of the year, but here we are. And
Go back to when we were at 26K. We had a very, very upset viewer, and hopefully he's returned, screaming at us online because Bitcoin wasn't going up fast enough. And he said, 40K, you're dreaming. Well, not only was I not dreaming, we hit 45. And let me tell you, expect a 50K Bitcoin in January and fairly early in January, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want to talk about the news that I think helped today, Mr. FOMO, and that was Tether. We talked about this before. We talked about, would Tether possibly make things complicated in terms of, would the SEC or the U.S. government go after Tether, and would that cause a very bad reaction during the bull run? Well, it looks like that's going to be a huge no. Today, headlines: Tether confirms extensive collaboration with Department of Justice, FBI, and Secret Service. It seems like Tether is doing everything it can to avoid being attacked by the government. And I think these two will play nice in 2024. The more and more research I do, the more I feel fairly confident. And that was one of the things I said. Could that be a black swan event that really negatively affects the bull run? It looks like we can clear that off the list tonight. So that is a big deal. And I can imagine, along with possibly some sorts being liquidated, that news helped the market today.
Yeah, and I think this also confirms that you can't hide away from, especially if you're doing business in the U.S., you can't hide away from these entities, right? The DOJ, the FBI, the Secret Service. They have jurisdiction, and they are going to take it when they can. And so you can't hide behind, customers not doing KYC. You can't hide behind, the fact that you might be, headquartered overseas or in the Bahamas or something like that. I think all of these companies are now realizing that in order to play ball and in order to not get crushed, which we've seen with Binance and CZ, and we've seen with SBF and FTX. And so I think the writing is on the wall. They've got to get in there and work with these entities in order to be compliant. Otherwise, it's game over. And Tether I think it's important to note that USDC has an inside track. And so especially with Circle being headquartered in the US. And so I think that this also signals sort of game theory, like Circle is getting the inside track in the US, one of the biggest markets. We've also got to become compliant so that we can maintain our foothold in the market. And so I think you're also seeing Tether recognize, competition and the strength in the competition, especially with USDC.
By the way, Tennessee, I've heard people talk about track, and we'll cover that soon because it's shown up on my timeline quite often. So thanks for bringing that up. We really appreciate your support and any contribution you guys do bring to the show. We do have our own low cap gems that we want to bring up today. And the first one actually deals with music. And no, it's not Audius, because we brought that one up several times.
I love
want to
Audius.
talk about something called Muse. And it's actually very easily attained. And that's, always a good thing. Now, here's the thing about Muse. It looks pretty much on the surface like a Audius competitor, right? You go to the website, it says Unleash the Power of Music by Blockchain. And then you scroll down. Muse Network is a high-performance music chain to provide the industry with credible and low-cost copyright NFT solutions. And you look at their business model, right? And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get creators to use the network so that they have their unique footprint that they can't be copied in terms of copyright. Interesting idea. I don't think they're as far along as Audius is, but nonetheless, here's what I really love. And it says, they're trying to get incentivized rewards modeled through sharing, tipping, and engagement of content. I do think in the future there will be a market for this. Are they early? Is it going to happen in 2024? I can't say for sure, but I see a use case here. Now, here's what I really love, because let's be real here in crypto. We're talking about right now the next 12 to 18 months, right? Maybe 6 to 12 months. So they seem to have a vision. Will they get it done in time to really make the use case usable to the average person? I don't know, right? But here's what I do know. I love certain things. And here's what I love here. These are the two things that I love to look for, especially we got a low market cap, Mr. FOMO, of 5.6 million, check, right? High volume, check, right? But Mr. FOMO, look at that beautiful circulating supply, 508,000, and the total supply is $950,000. I love it, right? So there's me not $150,000, but 950,000 tokens. And that is what I really, really like here.
That is the max supply, less than 1 million?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I really like this.
How is it? It would have to be something that could be fractionalized, right? Because if this thing blows up, then they've got to have more tokens or
Well,
more, at least fractions of tokens, to be able to trade them. So I think that this may be one that you see increase their total max supply, because as engagement increases, they're going to have more circulating, and if they don't have enough, then I don't know. I don't know that rarity is necessarily important when you're trying to scale to an audience that becomes millions or more.
so let me show you this, Mr. FOMO. All-time high, though, right? Look at that. Okay. We're still all the way down here. So it's shown.
And it's certainly, like
It,
you said, in the
yeah.
short term, with that
Look,
low total supply, you
it,
can certainly
here's what I like.
probably count on that making a huge run if people start to buy into it. And
Here's what I
so
like.
low max supply, low market caps, it's a no-brainer.
Here's what I
I
like.
may
People
get
that
on
are
and buy
coming
after the
in,
show.
people that are coming directly into crypto for the first time, we'll be able to get this on exchanges like Coinbase. They won't have to go on they won't have to go searching for it. And so for me, because we're going to have so many new people coming in, I'm telling you guys, next 6 to 12 months, you're going to see people come in that weren't even around last time. Or maybe they came in very, very briefly and now they see Bitcoin above 60K again and they're coming back. And at first they get Bitcoin and they look, what else can I get? And anything you can get easily without doing a lot of work, lazy man's crypto, those things are going to jump. All right. I'm just going
Well,
to tell you that
let me
those things
tell
are
you
going to
why
jump.
I love this. I already mentioned maybe one of the problems I have, and that's really the only problem aside from the fact that their colors are almost exactly the same as Audius. The thing that I love about this is all the things you mentioned: the low market cap, the low max supply, that former huge all-time high. But what I also love is that this has to do with music. Everybody loves music. And you mentioned that there might be a market for this. There already is. The market for this exists with like Spotify, with SoundCloud. And then when you add the security of blockchain and the idea that maybe they could earn things other than just Muse tokens, maybe you could earn, NFTs that are brand specific, or NFTs that maybe signify your tier in the, as a member there, or maybe as someone who's a producer of music there. I think that that's probably going to be something that's pretty serious in the future, because what musicians lost with file sharing 20 years ago, they're still looking to gain back. And a lot of them are doing it with touring and with merchandising and stuff like that. But they still haven't been able to gain back the money they earned from record sales the way they did in the 80s and before that, 90s, 80s, and before that. And so I think that this is really going to be important when we get down the line. So, for now, this is something that I think, because of the metrics that you pointed out, is going to have a huge jump. But in the
Look,
future, I think that this might have some staying power. I'm not telling you to hold this forever.
no,
What
no,
I'm
no.
saying is that you may come back to this in later bull markets and see that it's still alive and still around and still growing strength because of the
Look,
market that it's
it
making up.
is December 18th, not financial advice, but if you purchase this tonight and you are holding on April 18th, you might have a nice little profit. That's all I'm saying, guys. Just check it out. Now, Mr. FOMO, really quickly before we get to your wonderful pick, a couple people have asked about Voyager.
Yeah,
Listen,
let's address that.
here's the reality. Voyager started mediation with Alameda FTX over hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in late October. As of right now, all indications are they were not successful with mediation. Now, they could come and prove us wrong. They haven't been answering their phone calls. You would think if mediation was successful, that would have been given as new information on the website or a release with an email. They haven't done it. They've emailed us about other stuff, not about that. And so here's the reality right now. We're probably looking at 2024 for distributions. Now, how early in 2024 did mediation? Was it delayed and they're going to pick it back up at the beginning of January? Did it fail? Is there a court date? We don't know, and they're not telling us. And maybe me and Mr. FOMO need to do a better job of keep badgering them about this. We will try. But these guys have gone silent, and I don't like the looks of it. And I don't have a great feeling about it because I feel like you, if they would have been successful, mediation was now 2 months ago, they would have said something. There is a possibility they put it on hold and are coming back in 2024, but there's also a dark possibility that we're going to have a trial 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now, and that your next distribution might not be until late 2024. I'm just being brutal here. We'll keep you guys updated, Mr. FOMO.
And I don't disagree with anything you said. They keep posting documents on Invest Voyager's court docket link, and you can catch that in the description below. But it's a whole lot of nothing, and you have to be careful when you see things coming out on Twitter, or you catch an email or something like that about Voyager, because they're using these documents as sort of a Trojan horse to get you to open their link and get you to go to whatever website they want you to go to. And so these documents don't necessarily really say anything. It's just, we want to go after these people. We want an extension on this. We want to pay these people. It's that kind of stuff. And they're using those documents. These scammers are using those documents to trick people into giving them their information. And so don't be fooled by that kind of stuff. If there's anything that breaks on the Voyager website, and there's a couple of documents that I haven't gone all the way through yet, but as far as I know, there's nothing in there about the mediation. But if anything breaks, we will let you know here, and we will tell you exactly what you need to do to get the rest of your distribution.
Absolutely. And thanks, guys. We will keep it here. Tennessee mentions bonk. Bonk was great, but for every bonk, there's 1,000 ones that either get rugged or don't make it. So when you're going digging and really digging deep into really low caps, just be careful, guys, because we don't want you guys to.
And Tennessee mentioned to do your own research earlier in one of his in one of his posts. So and that's good advice. Make sure anything that we mention on here or anything that you see some YouTuber mention, make sure you go in and do your own due diligence, because
now, Jason, I'd be very careful to sell your claim, because a lot of those have very, very fine language, and it's more complicated than you think. So I would have a lawyer look over that before you did anything like that, because there's some fine print and there's some misleading language in some of those. Some people got burned in both Celsius and Voyager trying to do that. So just be very, very careful. I wouldn't, because there at some point there will be something coming back. We just can't tell you how much. Like I said, hopefully we've got news to share soon. But right now I'm looking probably not till January 2004 we can report anything. We'll keep digging and see what we can get. Mr. FOMO, why don't you hit us with your low cap gem?
All right. So for me, I went looking for something a little bit different, and I went and found, let's share this with everybody, Galxe, not Galaxy, but Galxe, Galxe. And what they're doing is building communities with Web3, and it's basically like loyalty tokens for the most part. And they incorporate NFTs and things like that, but they don't want to necessarily just work in loyalty points. What they're talking about is ownership of your loyalty points, and you being able to trade your points, you being able to get certain NFTs. Like I mentioned before, we were talking about your token, being able to get NFTs when you reach certain tiers in your loyalty programs. And I think that this is something that also has a little bit of a market, because almost everybody has a loyalty program. Like your grocery store got a loyalty program. Jersey Mike's got a loyalty program. By the way, my Jersey Mike's loyalty program points have been hacked twice. I can't even read the guy's name who keeps putting his name in there so that he can collect my points. But loyalty programs, especially Jersey Mike's, could do with a little bit of security that comes with blockchain.
I know of a guy really quickly in the Caribbean that's gained a lot of weight, possibly eating a lot of carbs, maybe a Stephen Ehrlich, since he destroyed your.
I would be able to pronounce his name if I saw that on there, but it might be. We might be onto something. He might be hacking my Jersey Mike's account and eating all my subs. But anyway, the loyalty programs definitely could use the security, and they also could use a boost that comes from blockchain where you don't just have to use points. You can also get NFTs, brand specific NFTs. Let's say you shop at maybe a luxury brand, an automobile brand, something like that, and or you shop at a luxury clothing store. Those kinds of loyalty points could really add up and give you things that are either ultra rare or something that everybody
All
wants
right.
from the brand, or both.
So, Mr. FOMO, I'm going to get straight to the point. Here's where I like your pick. And all this stuff you say is true, but honestly, it might not matter in the next 6 to 12 months. Here's the reality. This thing's market cap was once well over $1 billion, and the all-time high price was $18.52. Right now, it's $1.63, and the market cap is $153 million. I look at the volume right now; we're at 16 million. Not bad. Circulating
It's
supply
over 10% of the market cap,
yeah,
right?
circulating supply is right now. It's I mean,
100
95
million.
million at 48%. Not horrible, right? Not
Right.
horrible.
200
And
million isn't a billion, right? For max
no,
supply. It's not
so
4
it's not a meme
billion.
coin. It's a real project. 153, not as low as mine that I picked out earlier, but still good, still good. So I like this.
That was also something to consider there too, is the market cap. Now it is in the hundreds of millions. Yours was in the millions, single digit millions. And I want
Mhm,
people to realize how important that distinction is.
absolutely.
That's a huge difference. There's a 30x difference between your market cap and
Look,
my market cap, right?
guys,
So
I'm just going to tell you, I love this one, but the chances of Muse staying below 10 million the next 3 months are low. I'm just for entertainment purpose only.
especially
I'm saying,
the availability on Coinbase, and
yeah.
that's the same here with Galxe, is they are on Coinbase as well, and they're easily you can easily acquire these tokens. And so I think we gave you two good picks, and I think we gave you some solid reasoning for those. Loyalty programs and music, I think, will be something that blockchain actually is in both of those pretty heavily. But I think you'll see mainstream adoption in those areas well before you see some of those other areas that blockchain can handle.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, Clout, for the kind words. Hey, guys, spread the word. Help us out. We need to get to 2,000 subs as soon as we can. Would greatly appreciate. We greatly appreciate your support, but it would really help our show grow. So, you guys, hopefully, you enjoyed. Instead of some Monday Night Football right before we did some Monday Night Crypto. You guys have a great night. We'll see you later in the week for even more great selections.
All right, talk to you later. See you.